Hey, Bublynn, coming in, crushing this art. All right, we're back at it, talking about Gemini moon, Taurus sun. So straight up, first thing I noticed, earth and air, right? So this is coming from an airy place and acting in an earthly way. So this person has a lot of experience in like grounded practicality, less out there, less mystical, right? And like that doesn't mean that this person couldn't be mystical. It just means that their way to get through that might more be through more practical means versus like someone that needs more like of a ritual, right? If you're trying to connect to something more metaphysically or more of a concept, it's like, okay, I need to see this substantiated, like, or like I want a lot of different things that carry this meaning in it and like are a part of this ritual, whereas someone else may like a song or a concept may work. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So anyway, so this would be someone that's always wanting things to switch up, but always finds themselves acting in a solid way. So I feel like they're going to like it's almost like someone that's in one lane, but they kind of know all the different things about that lane. Like almost not the preacher, like the center person, or like the the maintenance worker, or like it's kind of like the dude that can kind of do every job, is kind of cross trained everywhere, doesn't really want to be in any one particular location. You know what I mean? Because this is like relatable too. Like the air, the moon being an air and also mutable air is trying to do a bunch of new things, but are relatable, are where you're coming from. They're not trying to bring in a completely different lane. So this could work together well. You know what I mean? And then um, yeah, and then the Taurus sun would just bring it to where they'd want to kind of have a steady path. Though they wouldn't be able to express themselves in a way that was totally like off ground. You know what I mean? So that's why it's almost like they'd find themselves in a location or in an area or in a sect or in a box. You know what I mean? Of acting with what they like, but also they'd always find themselves kind of like exploring new areas of that. You know what I mean? But maybe not necessarily finding completely new lanes like firewood and getting super tense, but really getting to know what's there, with the Gemini moon, which makes sense, So yeah, so yeah, a little bit more about it. It is very balanced, right? Because you have the relatability of where you're coming from, and also the stirring ability of where you come from, right? Like you're coming from a place where you want to be relatable and you want things to switch up, but you're acting in a way where you are like you're just gonna act in the way you're gonna act, and you don't really want things to switch up. You know what I mean? So you kind of have areas on both sides of the field, which may be something that is something you need to balance. You know what I mean? In the fact that you kind of want things to be a little less grounded, you want them to make sense, but then at the same time, when you're trying to take steps and all things like that, like everything kind of needs to be laid out with the Taurus sun. So yeah. So then a lot of the actions, a lot of things we find ourselves acting and relating with would probably be things that you love, right? Being Taurus, ruled by Venus, things that you've got attached to. Like this is like you'd want to act in ways that you're more comfortable with, versus the Scorpio sun would want to act in ways that it's more so going out there and they're still going to stick to their guns, which is the type of energy we're at, but it's more so with like stick to the guns of what you know, right? Is how you're going to act. And then you're coming from a place where you just want to know, you just want to stir stuff up, you don't want to like break barriers necessarily like fire, you still want to like be relatable like water, but you still just want to know, right? There's all these things you want to know about how stuff works. You don't want to completely bring in a whole nother lane and a whole nother vision before you even know how this vision works, right? So that's where you're coming from. You're coming from a place where you just want to know, and you're acting in a way where you just want to stick with what you love. So it's almost like you're going to find the best way to do whatever it is that you love, you know what I mean? Or maybe have the best method of conceptualizing it, you know what I mean? Hey, so that is Gemini Moon, Taurus Sun, Bublynn, Sitra, Beach, out.